be back out in the forge again today. After taking a couple of days with this hot weather being as bad as it's been. I'm gonna try and get this Khukuri heat treated today. That way I can start working on the finishing of it. But first I decided I had to clean out the forge. I wanted to, you gotta do some maintenance with your equipment every once in a while to make sure it keeps going, especially if it's something you're making money with. So I took the blower off and cleaned out all the dust out of it. So this is a better look at my blower that I use for the air source for my forge. This is generally the side you see, but what you don't normally see is this side. That's the air intake side. There's the housing. That's what I took the side off that old dryer, and I just wrapped it around, tapping it until I got it wrapped up. And I didn't have to do that for it to make more air. I did that for safety reasons, so that I didn't get shocked by it or get my fingers in it somewhere, or the dogs. They walk by, sit down, get their tail in it. I wanted to make sure that none of us got hurt. It's how it works right here. There's on and off. So I've got my blade in the fire, getting it heated up. Notice I don't got the tip yet. I don't want to heat the tip up till the last. Once it gets hot enough, then I'm going to quench it. Came out good and straight, no cracks, or no poppings and pingings, and no noise. Yep, good hardened blade. Alright, I got my blade ready to start cleaning it off again. Get all that off of it, make it look pretty. Get ready to start putting the handle on. Putting the finishing touches on the Khukuri. far edge on the blade. Take a second and I'm going to show you the difference of why I like doing hand sanding than using machine. See this end? See, it's looking pretty good. Right back here is from the machine. And that's what I'm doing. I'm sanding this blade down by hand, getting all that out. And to compare, a better comparison, I put that in the machine with a finer grit belt. So as you can see, even putting a finer grit belt and putting it back on my belt sander, just the hand sanding, ready for the last finish on it. Now, there's a couple things here that I've added to it that I hadn't talked about yet. And I put those in it. There's mostly for decoration look. And then this. That's called a cho. And the traditional Khukuris, they put that's there. They think that that's there to represent a cow's foot. That's the one thing you're not supposed to do with this Khukuri, is you're not supposed to use it on a cow. But there is also other things that people say that's behind this. Okay, I've got the bluing done on the blade. Now I'm going to start working on the handle. Let me take it over here. So I've got my handle scales made out, or not made out, cut out, ready to go ahead and put them on. Now that is red oak. That's what I'm going to be using for the handle. And the first thing I'll do is I'll tape one scale to this, and then I'll drill out for the hole. And then I'll take the other one and I'll tape it around on the other side, and then drill the hole all the way through that one. That helps me make sure that I keep the holes for my pins straight. So I've got it taped on there, ready to drill the holes. Okay, so the handle it's dry enough. I can start working on it now. I'll use this file. I think it's actually for a file for a horse's foot. It works pretty good on wood. I'll also use my rasp. I was taking that wood down to that tank. A little something to know about the Khukuri. It's actually pronounced Khukuri, but we all get it wrong. And we all got in the habit of saying Khukuri, but it's Khukuri. But one kind of little neat thing to know is, remember the story Bram Stoker's Dracula? Well, in that story, it was the Khukuri that cut Dracula's throat, and it was a Bowie knife to the heart, which we all think of a stake as being what kills a vampire, but apparently it's a combination of a Khukuri and a Bowie knife. And most people think of the Khukuri being a weapon. The Khukuri is not. It's not just a weapon, which don't even know if it was even first made to be a weapon. But it's a multi-purpose it's a multi-purpose tool. And Nepal, like the Gurkhas in Nepal. I think I'm getting it right. They use the kukri. Like it's an everyday use tool in homes and on farms for clearing brush, chopping trees, cutting vegetables, processing meat. A few more things that the big end used for digging. It's used for digging and also as an axe. And the little notch it's right here. It's called there's a few different names for it. One of the most common that I've seen so far is it's called a chode, which it has there's various reasons why that could be there. One of them is it could represent a cow's foot, and it could serve as a reminder to never use the kukri on a cow, as in killing a cow with kukri. Another reason that we'll hear why it might be there, another reason it could be is they say that some people say it lets the blood, when the blood runs down the blade, it'll drip off right there instead of going on the handle, or tree sap, not just blood, tree sap. And it keeps it from getting on the handle and making it too slick to hold on to. I'm sure somebody out there knows what that actually might be for. But that's some of the reasons it could be there. I'm going to guess that in Nepal, the cow, that it might be there to represent the cow's foot, because they revere the cow in Nepal. And I would say that's that might be one of the the best reason why it might be there is to remind you that you don't use it on a cow. And the smaller part of the kukri blade right here can be used as a smaller knife. There's also been as it's used as a multi-purpose tool on farms and in homes. Also kind of disproves the one saying that a kukri isn't to be sheathed until after it's drawn blood. That kind of disproves that theory. And the kukri is also, I guess it's supposed to have two companion knives. One of them not really being a knife, but more for keeping the edge cleaned off. Make sure it's keeping it sharp. And the other knife is supposed to be sharp. It's to do the work that the kukri is too big to do. Like if you have a small game and you want to cut, clean, process that small game, so we'll say like out rabbit hunting. Well, it's just a little bit too big for a rabbit. But this little companion knife that you use for skinning and cleaning a game with is what its purpose was intended for. That's why it's the companion knife to the Khukuri. The little skinning knife, little companion knife for helping clean the game, doing the jobs, not just for cleaning game, it's for whatever the Khukuri is too big to do. It's called a cardo. And the other one, to help keep the blade sharp, is, I'm not real sure how you pronounce this, but I pronounce it chakmate. It's not really supposed to be sharp. Not supposed to have a sharp edge on it. It just helps keep this sharp. Now I ain't gonna make y'all step through this whole time I work this wood down. So this is what the old Khukuri is looking like so far. One final look at this Khukuri before I finish it. Okay, we're going to stress testing the Khukuri to make sure it don't break. Then I'm gonna give it to somebody if it breaks. It's for somebody. It's not for me. It's for somebody. No edge damage. Okay, so after further examination on the Khukuri, the handle did start to separate after all the chopping that I did with it. Which that's why I wanted to put it through such a stress test such as that, because I wanted to see what might fail on it, what could go wrong, and that way I could fix it before I hand it over to the person that I'm making it for. I don't want to make something and give it to them and the wheels fall off of it. So took the handle scales off, went and got some new epoxy. It turns out that I guess with all the heat we've had here lately, it ruined my epoxy. So I went and got some new epoxy, and we've got her sticking back together, and wait and see what tomorrow brings, and put it through another stress test to see if the scales hold up this time. See if the epoxy holds the scales on. So now test number 2 to see if it all stays. No blade damage and handles right and tight. Sharp it stayed. Ooh, like got my finger. Test the edge just a little bit more.
All over me.
That's why it's sharp. Let's do another one. A little bit bigger. Let's do one that's a little harder. That's really light. Oh, that's hitting me with the wrong part of the way. Ready? Let's do it again. Them the wires. They're cutting through wire.